Hello again. Welcome back. It's the second installment of this video blog based on the new revolution. And I must apologize a little bit because it's taken me a little longer than expected originally to get back to you with this second part. And I thank you so very much to all of you who have sent me emails and notes on Facebook as well as Twitter inquiring about the second installment of this video blog. And I am so psyched that it has generated all this interest out there in exploring not only what we have, but possibilities on how to make it better moving forward. And that's what this is about. So not to go into too much of what we've already covered in the last part one of the new revolution, let me just summarize a little bit. Basically, what we discussed was the fact that our current education system, the one we all went through here in the United States, or the American school system, was specifically designed and pretty much has remained that way for all these years to satisfy the needs of the Industrial Revolution. Now, we all know that after the Industrial Revolution, there have been other pretty darn big revolutions in the workforce and in the industry sector that have moved and helped our nation move in a direction and at a speed that no one could have foreseen in the early part of the 20th century. So with that said, not only do we have a lot of catching up to do, but knowing what we have in place as a business model today and looking into the future and knowing what's happening at present with all this economic debacle, if you will, we need to look for the new thing. It cannot be bringing the old thing up to speed to today's standards. We have to take it far beyond and actually look into a long-term future and create something that will be better designed, more sustainable, and actually look at building a society and happiness and success for each one of us individually. And that's what we're going to be talking about here today. So going from that foundational perspective, now let's move from the philosophy of it to maybe the practice of it. And based on what we've discussed already, the main thing that our current system is based on is opportunities. We know what's out there, so we work backwards and we train people to be the best prepared possible to satisfy the needs that we know are out there. So basically our model is, and you'll start seeing some images fairly soon. Our model is based out of opportunities and skill development. Now, I'm starting to see a pattern on the information that I'm going to be sharing with you. So I ended up calling the whole thing the rings of success. And it's funny because some of the combinations of these rings have brought success, some level of success to us, but I don't think comprehensive use of all rings has been systematically put in place to actually give us sustainable results moving forward long term. So we will be looking deeper into this. So we were talking about opportunities, meaning what are the needs of the industry sector, of the society, of the culture we live in, and the world, and then training people to actually being able to have the capabilities to meet those needs and actually do it successfully. Now, obviously, the race worldwide is the country that does it the best will be the country that will be on top when it comes to performance, power, etc., its influence, all those things. So, as you see these two rings, what happens is there is obviously an shared area when those two rings link. And I call that the limited fuel section. The main reason why I say this is because we are trained to do a task most of the time, or in general terms. If we miss the mark on how much we like what we're doing, guess what's going to happen? What we're seeing with most of late baby boomers and early Gen Xers that are starting to be quite discontent with what they do for a living. So they start running out of steam, they start running out of fuel. What happens when that happens is, as much as you may try to still keep your performance level as high as possible, because you're running out of fuel, your performance starts suffering. Now, imagine how terrible it could be for anybody, but especially for 40 and 50-year-olds, when the steam starts running out and they start underperforming at that age, and they may run the risk of actually losing their job if they haven't lost it already because of the economic situation. It's not as easy to find work when you're 40-something, 50-something years of age. So running on limited fuel is not the best thing. I did make mention to a couple of components earlier on, which I think are key in this new equation that I'm proposing moving forward, which we're calling, for the sake of this discussion, the rings of success. Copyrighted material, all part of this amazing program that we have created, that I have created, called the Passionate Future Project. And while it is mostly created for students today to help them make better decisions for their own future, it can also help us adults in shifting the course of our own ships in life and actually get ourselves to a better place, both from a happiness perspective as well as from a successful perspective. So you got the two rings, opportunities and skill developments. Now add the third ring too. So we will be looking at passions, things that really sing to you, things that you love doing, things that you love thinking about the possibility of doing in long term. And that's the third ring in our three-ring formula. Now, as the first two rings created this overlap that we call limited fuel, there are two overlaps obviously created by the third ring. And again, you're going to be seeing the images through this discussion. One of them is the overlap between passions and opportunities. And that I call the abyss. And the reason is because if you don't have the skills, it doesn't matter how much passion you have for something, you may try to go after the opportunities. It's never going to happen. Let's take, for example, a very American example, if you will. Look at the auditions for American Idol. And that is the perfect definition of the abyss. People that can't hold a note, yet they think they can have amazing careers in singing or in the music industry, whatever it is. Bottom line is, if you don't have the skills, if you have all the passion in the world and you go after the opportunities that come to you in life, you're probably not going to go far. But then the overlap between the passions and the skill sets, I call limbo. And the reason I call this section that is because we have all the energy and the drive and the passion in the world. We have worked our you-know-what off in building our skill sets to be the best that we can be in that. But we just don't know quite how to go after the opportunities. And if they come to us, and if they don't, we don't even know how to find them. So we are in this limbo in that we are ready and to deliver, but we cannot place ourselves in the right spot in time to be able to get the right opportunity to actually make use of those skill sets and passion. And obviously in the center of the three circles you see the big S, and the big S stands for success. If we can early on in life, actually, if we can at any point in life, figure out where our strengths lie, what we're really amazing at, what are we truly passionate about, not just things that we like, but that we are passionate about them. And then we work hard to develop our skill sets in those areas, and we understand how to pursue the right opportunities. Trust me, there's no stopping any of us. And that's what the new equation of success is going to be. It has to be. We've gone through looking at success as having war against each other, bullying our way into obtaining lands and riches and wealth. And obviously, we're talking about way back in history, to actually being able to organize our sweat and our war cries, if you will, and actually develop people's skills to be a great deliverer of the Industrial Revolution, to then moving into a mental force kind of drive within, I would say it started within the late 60s, if not early 60s, all the way through probably the 80s and 90s. And the mental force, if you will, has been leading this country and the world moving forward, which is why we have all these great technological advances. Don't get me wrong, there's a place for every one of these approaches. If we know how to combine them and how to use them in the right time, they can truly deliver amazing results. The one new approach that has not been utilized, that had not been maximized, and that is because it's a little too abstract, and people tend to, stay away from what can't be precisely measured, is the passion approach. And that, my friends, is going to be the new driving force, it has to be, to success in this 21st century. So, look at the Rings of Success diagram one more time. Figure out where you are at. Look at our website down below. And if you want more information, go to our website. Write to us if you don't find enough there, or if you still have questions after reading what's there. And if you're interested in either the Passion of Future project or any other project out there that caters to this, if you want more information about the research that's coming out of Harvard University on the importance of happiness and how it links to success, which is exactly what this is talking about, let us know. We will give you all the information you want, and we have tools to actually help you, help your kids become better prepared to lead the most successful future possible. So don't fall in the trap of the dwindling middle class. Make sure that you give yourself and your family all the tools necessary to have the most successful future that you can have. With that, this is part 2 of the New Revolution. Following part coming about in a couple of weeks. Look at these diagrams. Look into our website. Send us your questions. There's no charge for that, and we will be more than glad to respond in turn and answer all the questions that you may have, and ideally point you in a direction that's right for all of you. So with that, guys, I am signing off. It's been long this today, but I think it's been very important. Take care. Have a great, fantastic weekend. Keep moving forward. Find your success. Find your future. Take care, guys.